Hello, I'm Tony Vlahos from ExecuNet. Thanks for tuning in today. If you're leading at the 200K plus level, you already know this market feels, how do I put this? Different. We're seeing top executives re-engage, rethink retirement, reposition themselves, sometimes by choice and sometimes by surprise. And one of the most interesting perspectives I've seen recently was in Fast Company, where my guest today, Mark Brodsky, was featured discussing the rise of the unretired executive. Mark is a longtime leader and executive career coach here at ExecuNet who works closely with senior talent navigating what's next. And I'm really glad we're getting this time together. Mark, welcome. Um, how are you doing these days?
Hey, thank you, Tony. I'm doing great. Actually feel the best I've felt in a long time. So
I'm
I'm
so happy to hear
fortunate and
that.
happy about that. Yeah.
And I want to say congratulations. You were featured, as I mentioned, in Fast Company, talking about the rise of the unretired executive. And I'm really curious what you think is driving that trend, Mark. Is it financial? Is it psychological? Is it identity based or something else?
Yeah. Well, based on the research and some of that played out of the article, it's all those three, and it just depends on the executive and their situation.
Mhm.
And I'd say for me, it's a matter of enjoying what I do. My sense is I'm good at what I do, and I'm the best I've ever been at what I do. And with that, why would I hang that up? So that's what's driving me. Second, nice to have that income flowing in, but that's not at the top of the list. One of the things that I laugh about, I don't think Picasso hung up his brush in older age. And so why should I hang up what I do in something that's taken me a career, to refine and get to this point?
Mhm. And those are inspiring thoughts for anyone who is contemplating, hanging up their brush or whatever other tool that they feel they must no longer use, because that clearly is a fallacy. So let me ask you a different type of question, more about the state of executive hiring, Mark. So for senior leaders at the 200K plus level, what is the real state of hiring right now from your vantage point? Beyond the headlines, where's the market tight and where are you seeing opportunities?
Yeah. So the market is tight. And I think now with companies, putting even additional thought into where they want to hire, how they want to expand, as always, the opportunities become less and less as you move more to the top. It's just more the top of the pyramid. And with that, I think, where the senior executive, older senior executives play is where a company, would value someone who's been there and done it, and they're looking at a leader who could help navigate, the challenges that are out there. Meaning, if you're young in your career, you're probably still building the portfolio of different business challenges you face, where the opportunities might be. A company that would value someone who's navigated those waters successfully and knows implications of going straight, left, or right. It doesn't have to step in every pothole that's there. That's where the special value of a more older senior executive would fit in. A company that's looking at navigating those waters. So that's where it is, specifically within industries. It's across the board. We see some of the peaks and lulls in the technology sector. We see, some of the peaks and valleys in the financial sector. So I think it's not specifically to one where that executive would play. It's more the organization and what they see their strategic needs to be going forward.
Mhm. You
That's
mentioned
that's the broad view.
Yes, you mentioned the older workers specifically, and I want to talk about age bias a bit, Mark. I know it's an area that you've given a lot of thought to, and more than thought, have advised many senior level older workers on. Many would tell you it's real, and we acknowledge that it's real, that also tell you that it's truly a barrier to their succeeding in a job search and a career change. Is that true, or is it largely a mindset? And if it's largely a mindset, how do you overcome that perception?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely true.
Mhm.
And, it's the bias, short of discrimination. So discrimination's flagrant. There's a legal definition for it, but the bias absolutely does exist. And sometimes and often it plays out in a more subtle way. So the way through that begins with the executive themselves, first figuring out, what do they want to do next? And then based on what they want to do next, how they position the unique value they bring to that end. So going back, I work with and coach a lot of executives who come to this crossroads in their career, and for whatever reason, be it that they are set where they are and now looking what's next, or the other end of the equation, they were about to be let go, and they're facing, what do I do next? Or they might have left, retired, and want to come back. But it's critical to begin with, what do I want to do next? And it may or may not be exactly what they've done before. So coming to that realization, what's next, and being clear about that. And then second, given my direction, what unique value do I bring? And often that's a mindset change, because what I bring is different than necessarily what I've done. As a hiring executive myself, it's nice to know that you've done things, but I want to know what you benefit you bring me today and what that benefit will be tomorrow. And that's where you need to be really sharp, especially for someone more senior in their career, in their age, because that there lies the opportunity if you're crystal clear on that. And again, I go back to this thing of judgment, which is born through being successful and also blowing things up. And hopefully you've blown up less than you've succeeded. That's important. And then the benefit that brings. So if it's a strategic role, how does that play out in the value you bring? It might be specific to the market that you want to continue pursuing, or another direction could be maybe for a nonprofit. What is it that you bring in terms of understanding the landscape, understanding how partnerships are done successfully, understanding different combinations of businesses that you've been through, seen, and that's unique value, that
Mhm.
insight, and being crisp and clear on how you communicate that. That's how you break through. And I think the other piece I would offer is being clear on the organization types you're going after and the specific organizations that you might want to join. Because based on your due diligence, if you see it's a company that's not led necessarily by more senior folks and or has those represented in their leadership ranks, that may not be one you would want to pursue. Why pursue a company that may not have any interest in someone like yourself and the value bring born through a lot of experience?
Right.
Conversely, companies that have strong representation of more senior leaders and or on their board and in their management ranks or who they serve, might be a better target for you. So, placing your effort and your focus on companies that might have more of a propensity to hire someone like yourself. So that's
Right.
some of the ways of cutting through, being clear where you want to get to, the special value you bring, and making sure you target with clear eyes.
So an older worker or an executive period who hasn't been in transition in a job search for say 20, 30 years is listening to this and saying, okay, I get it. I've got to be clear on what I bring, communicate it effectively, and be clear on where I want to bring it. How is that different from the job search they might have launched 20, 30 years ago? What should they stop doing or think about doing as they go forward, Mark?
Yeah. So there's a lot more competition out there because given the global ways of things and way people are working. Given that technology is being used more and more, and we hear about the AI, and you can be on either fence of that equation. I say use tools like that to your unfair advantage. You know, take the information that you have about yourself, the inclination where you want to get to. Use one of the AI tools to help synthesize further. What is it you bring, and then target those types of industries, organizations that might be more inclined to go after someone like yourself. As you look at job opportunities, one is postings. That's probably third on the list. Top on the list is leveraging your network of where you've been, who you know, where you've done it, and then take that, to help focus what the next industry or position would be. Plop that into an AI tool and do the crosshairs. How do you line up against what they're hiring for and whatnot? So I think what's different these days is more competition, leveraging technology. And I'd say, those companies you're probably looking at, organizations going after, are using that. You use it as well as part of your strategic arsenal of how to find, the right area and the right way to position yourself. And I say that's a start. But filling in the blanks, the technology tools today wouldn't do it all. Having somebody also expert with you on your side, be it a coach, to help really synthesize where you think you're at and help calibrate how that would play out in the marketplace, and also calibrate the type of target you're going after is critical. So more so these days, that of a value than might have played out before.
This has been such a grounded conversation, Mark, and you've done an elegant job of unpacking the components of what we here at ExecUnit refer to as the 3% solution, something we've developed uniquely for the top of the org chart that's a proven system of moving forward, grounded in precision, clarity about your narrative, controlling your narrative, and diligently connecting with the right people to move forward. Any other thoughts you'd like to share with our viewers today, Mark, about their quest?
Yeah. So I'd say there are clearly opportunities out there where what a senior executive brings would be highly valued. And then that is your North Star. And again, I go back to this thing that they don't necessarily teach in B school, this thing of judgment. I'd say that's a differentiator. Be clear on that and other differentiators you bring, and flaunt the daylights out of it. Make it to your strategic advantage. And I think there lies the opportunity. It's out there, and we got to be even fresher in our thinking of what that next role would be, and then go after it with full force and stack the deck in your favor. Again, using resources, Tony, like what you described, will help increase your odds significantly than trying to do it alone. That's my extra thought.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for making time and, as always, sharing your insight. And thank you all for viewing. Bye for now.